Hey, I just want to come and spread some encouragement to you. You already know I cannot sing, but I love to sing. Well, I take that back. You may not know that I can't sing, but I love singing. I just want to get on here to leave some encouragement with you. You are so much powerful than you know. You can do anything you put your mind to, and I constantly say this almost in like literally every single video because you can. You can. You can. You literally can. Well, basically, what I want to say, I'm gonna keep it short, simple, and sweet. So, it's not gonna be that long, but I do want to spread the positivity to you on the other side of this coin. You need to start cheering yourself on, right? It is so easy to pour into others, and we tend to forget about ourselves. And it's nothing wrong with cheering other people on. It's absolutely nothing wrong with it at all. But the problem is, how can you pour into somebody else when your cup is empty, right? How can you pour out when you have nothing in to pour out? That's beginning to say, how can you receive if you're too much on empty when you don't know how to receive your own words of encouragement? So it all starts with you. Right? We talked about this in previous videos, but it all starts with you. You need to start getting in the mirror and you need to start saying, I am beautiful. I am handsome. Take out your sticky notes. If you have to, write it down, jot it down on your sticky notes and say, one sticky note can say, I am confident. Another sticky note can say, I am brave. Another sticky note can say, I am courageous. Another sticky note can say, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Another sticky note can say, that I am who God says I am, because you are who he says you are. But how can you know who he says you are if you don't know who you are? That's deep. And the reason how you don't know who you are, because you're not going to the source. The only way to get and know who you are, you got to go to the source, because the source is God, right? He is like nutrient to our source. So the source is like the moist that we need to continue to grow. So we are like the plants in the ground, right? We are like the plants that's growing in the ground, right? Like the seeds that's in the ground. And in order for those seeds to grow, they have to be watered. In order for that water to happen, it has to be planted. In order for those seeds to be planted, we got to get down to the root of what's going on. How can you get down to the root of what's going on when the seed is in the ground? Well, you can do that by getting in your word and praying to God and saying, Lord, this is me. This is who I am. This is my problem. This is what I have going on. I need you to help me. Whatever's in me that's not of you, take it out of me and change me and make me more like you. But in order for you to get like that, you got to be willing to be planted. You got to be willing to get down deep in the soil. You got to be willing to get dirty. And I'm not talking about getting dirty where you going to go play in dirt and you just rolling over in dirt. No, what I mean is you got to be willing to get dirty with who you are. You got to willing to get dirty with being bold. You gotta get when you go to God, you gotta be raw, uncut, and naked. You gotta say, Lord, because the Lord already know what's wrong with you. He already know your problems. He already know what you need to be changed. He already know what needs to be fixed. He already know your circumstances. He already know what's gonna happen before it happens. But the thing is, and the problem is, he waiting on you to say, Lord, this is me. Lord, I can't stop. I don't know how to stop cursing. If you a person that cuss, I don't know how to stop cussing. He ought to know you don't know how to stop cussing. He ought to know you curse like a sailor, but you got to get to him and you got to be warned on cuss. Lord, I can't stop cussing. I don't know how to stop. I need your help. I have a problem with cussing. Or you may be a person that have a problem with masturbation, or have a problem with lust, or have a problem with adultery, or have a problem with, pornography, or you may be a person that have a problem with drugs. You may have a smoking a problem, or addiction a problem. You don't know how to stop, but God will help you and he will show you how to stop. But you got to give your burdens to him. You got to go to him and you got to lay it down on the table, and you got to be like, Lord, this is what I have. This is who I am. I don't know what else to offer. I don't know what to offer. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to think. I don't know what to believe, but you got to give it to him, and you got to trust that he will work it out. You got to trust, but how can he work it out if you're not going to the source? Because like I said, we are like seeds in the ground of the source of the moisture, and God is like the source that will plant our plants. But how can it be planted if we don't go to the source? We got to go to the source, but you can't get to God without going through the Jesus, because Jesus summons you to get to God. But when Jesus summons you to get to God, you got to keep pushing back. You got to keep pushing back. When I mean push back, you got to keep pushing in the word, pushing in the source, going with the source, going with the flow, going with what what God is calling you to do. You can't sit on the gifts and talents that's inside of you. You can't sit down anymore. You can't sit down and be like, oh, I know I got this gift to be a painter, but I can't paint because nobody is liking my words or nobody is liking my videos. You got to keep moving forward in what God is saying. Be blessed, and I love you, and stay encouraged. And the words that I want to leave with you today, you can do anything you put your mind to, but start cheering yourself on more. And excuse the background noise that you may just heard. Block that out. Just start cheering yourself on more. Don't be self-righteous now, but start cheering yourself on and do the things that you are created to do. You got this. I'm cheering you on. I'm praying for you. I love you. None of us is perfect. And that's the most beautiful thing of it, because we are not perfect people. We're just people that's living our life day to day, trying to get it right, trying to make a better living out of ourselves. And how can we do that? We got to be honest with the source. And we got to be honest with ourselves. Start loving on you, cheering on you, get in that mirror, take a notebook down, jot it down, be real with yourself. I'm out, and I love you guys, and stay blessed. And again, excuse the background noise. Just listen to the source. The source is God. We are the seeds in the ground. Stay blessed.